Well, hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Thursday, the 27th of June, where we race on the inside track at Turffontein. And what's on offer for you, the valued racing fan, on this Thursday is 8 races on the card. So let's have a look at some of those times. I'll just give them to you. The main ones: the Jackpot, race number 1, 12:30. The place accumulator at 13:05, race number 2, and then the big one, race number 3 at 13:40. It'll be nice to try and build a kitty going into the weekend racing, and of course building up to our main event, which will be next week Saturday. We'll welcome Alistair Cohen on the show. He's firmly part of a lot of activities that will be taking place prior to the running of the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I'm sure he's a busy man as well. Alistair, welcome to the show. And yesterday we saw the final field announcement, and I must applaud Hollywoodbets on putting on a great function at a new venue.
Yes, good day to you, good day to all the viewers, all the listeners. You know what I absolutely loved about the draw is that it was concise, to the point. The job was done. I absolutely loved it this year, and I thought that Graham and Carol did an unbelievable job. As you say, Hollywood they put on a show, no matter where it is, no matter what the event, whatever they associate their brand to, it's of the highest quality. But it's amazing all the bridges that we cross and all the milestones that we get to in the lead up to the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I mean, it's almost cliche. You walk out of Hollywoodbets Greyville after the July every year, and you think, well, how's next year going to be better? And somehow something happens that makes next year better and more memorable, and another great story that follows up. But I almost put the first marker down on Met Day, funny enough, World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. When you look at those horses at weight for age level and you think, right, and you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, then you get the Joburg 3-year-old campaign, then you get the first entries, then you get horses falling away, and you get prep runs and horses trying to set themselves up and qualify for the race. And now we're really at the business end. The final field reveal, when this meeting at Turffontein gets underway, the official gallops will be completed. I must be honest, I don't really pay much attention to the gallops. I don't think you can pick a winner through the gallops, but it's still nice to see the horse that you fancy, or the horses that you fancy, go through their paces and just see their well-being, whatever the case may be, and the tradition that goes with the gallops as well, and the wonderful sticky buns and coffee that's served at Hollywoodbets Greyville in the morning. It's always a lovely morning up as you rub shoulders with all the people that really, that these gallops matter to. And then obviously all the discussions, all the parties that go on during the week, the sale obviously at Suncoast on the Thursday, it's jam-packed, and I absolutely love it. I mean, so many racegoers just live for the first Saturday of July, and for us, everything that leads up to it just gets the juices flowing.
Yeah, best time of the year for the majority, I would suspect, of racing fans out there that follow South African horse racing. Let's get straight into it, Alistair. Race number 1 will begin at 12:30 with 8 races carded. It is the start of the Jackpot. Just as a guide, as always, let's give you some betting as we bring up the field. Horses in single figures: number 5 at 28-10, horse number 6 at 5-2, 8 at 11-2. We've got a first timer here that's priced up at 18-10, and number 9, Watchman. And 10 is a scratching, so at the time of recording, 10 runners will go to post. Obviously, the unknown in the race for, I see, Suzette Viljoen, a 625,000 Rand purchase, son of VAR, is priced up as the favorite. And I can see why, because, with all due respect, nothing really jumps off the page with the race runners, barring maybe numbers 5 and 6, Alistair.
There's a little bit of form to work with, but the word is out that number 9, Watchman, is a rocket. And that's not sort of word from nowhere. That's from a reliable source, and the market suggests that someone's got the same mail as well. A son of Vard, a Captain Almeh, screams 1,000 meters, screams speed anyway. And Tony Pete obviously readies them up first time out when they do have some sort of ability. Calvin Habib takes a run, and from what I've heard, this horse, and I hate the cliche, but catches pigeons. So expectations are clearly there for number 9, Watchman. The money's down, and when you look at the form that there is to work with, like I said, there is a bit of form to work with. The bad draws of 5 lead the charge, and 6 P-Bay Doro are big worries over 1,000 metres on the Turffontein inside track. P.B. Doro's first run as a gelding was a good run, seemed to be held by Wolf Mountain throughout, but it was an encouraging run, suggesting that there could be something to come from the son of One World, who's now at 24 individual winners. I mean, it's frightening, the stats that he's putting together in his freshman year. And 5 Lead the Charge, if it wasn't for a bad draw, I'd have a lot more time for him. I've got time for him. First run as a gelding, I think he can be dangerous if he does get a little bit of luck in running, but it's not going to be easy. And I also venture to say that the 1,000 metres might be a little bit on the short side. The mother was a stakes winner over 1,400 metres. San Fermin was trained by the Aussies as well. So I think, judging by what I've heard, number 9, Watchman's probably a hard horse to beat first up.
Well, you heard it from Alistair, and he has his ear on the ground when it comes to these type of, first-timer comments, if it does get to him. So he's passed this on to us, and that's fantastic. Number 9, Watchman, 18-10. Well, from what I'm hearing from Alistair, it sounds like that 18-10 could certainly shorten come race time. And if you want to wait for as long as possible, maybe some confidence can be passed on to you from the course as well before you get on leg number 1 of that bar pot, which is race number 1. Place accumulator will be race number 2. It's over 1,000 meters, a maiden plate for fillies and mares. And this is how they're betting here in the first leg of the PA. Number 2 together again at 5-1. Horse number 4 at 4-1. 7 at 9-2. We got a horse that's coming from the Work Riders races called 17 again for Fabian Habib, priced up at 15-10, and the number 10 is at 6-1. So, Alistair, we've had this discussion on numerous occasions, and I'm sure you've had it when you've worked on course as well. The strides over the years that the Work Riders program has made up in Gauteng, it certainly sets the standard. Any concerns for you that this horse comes from the Work Riders races into this maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,000 meters, or you think that the market's got it right at 15-10?
Bet of choice on the day, D's, as a place accumulates when I've decided to bank at number 9, 17 again. If she does have vulnerabilities, it's probably not so much the Work Riders form that she brings, it's probably just the size of her. I've seen her a few times. I was at the Vol on her debut on the 16th of May and watched her come into the parade ring. She's a very small daughter of Europe, but she's clearly athletic and got something about her, and I think the positive draw is likely to help her cause. And I think if she doesn't win, she's pretty much set up and nailed on to run into the first 3 for PA purposes. There's a lot of muddled form here, D's. Just the 2 of us form, we're together again, finished in front of Gaelic Dancer and Golden Argo. And then again, we've got Boston Glory with Gaelic Dancer finishing in front of Take Your Place and Kuramati. For me, those 2 form lines are quite muddled. There's nothing that Boston Glory might turn out to be well above average, but everything in behind just sort of doesn't sit all that well with me. And I just think that 17 again could just be in the right place at the right time. Was beaten by Gold Agent last time, Gold Agent a year older, and also had Savannah Valgello's 1.5 kilo claim. That probably assisted Gold Agent to finally getting into the number 1 box. 2 seconds, albeit in shallow fields, but I think that 17 again doesn't take on the strongest bunch here. When Together Again is betting close to number 9, 17 again, and she's a 31 start maiden, and she's found some pretty ordinary fields along the way. I think that puts things into perspective. That 17 again is just got that edge in terms of being untapped, unexposed, and likely to have a measure. I do respect 2 other horses, even though I bank at number 9, 17 again. I couldn't possibly take the price and back her on the nose. The other 2 horses that I have a bit of time for, the other 2-year-olds in this race. I don't know anything about number 8, Saigon. Susie Henny Crailing takes a ride. Gavin Larena is suspended for a few days, so hence Henny's taking the ride on the daughter. Give me the green light. Watch the market on her. But I think 4 Gaelic Dancer and 10 Take Your Place could be swinger alternatives with number 9, 17 again. But if I were to take a swinger, I'll probably take it after the canter passed and decide who looks better between numbers 4 and 10 as my money makers with number 9, 17 again.
Well, that is the banker to start of the place accumulator, number 9, 17 again. And we move along to the start of the big one, the Big 6 race number 3. You need to get on by 13:40, 20-2, 2,000 meters is this maiden handicap. So, number 1, Japanese make, which has the blinkers back on, at 3 to 1. Number 2 at 6 to 1. Horse number 3, a 5 to 1 shot. Number 5 at 7 to 1. 6 at 6 to 1. 7 at 4 to 1. And we got horse number 8 at 7 to 1. I'm just going to give some form updates for the guys that don't have it. For numbers 4 and 5, they ran behind Shinto Shrine, finished 8th and 4th respectively. And that 4th position from number 5, Roll of the Dice, was only beaten 3.5 lengths. So that race was on the 22nd of June. So it's 5 days ago. And we'll see if they do take their places. But they are in the betting, and of the 2, number 5, Roll the Dice, is priced up at 7 to 1. This race, Diane Stinger, just keeping an eye on where she places her horses. Obviously, we know that it's a small string of horses, but one is to compliment her with the results that she gets. Alistair, she saddles number 7 here.
She's in very good form at the moment. I think that all broke through with Masterful winning the Egoli Mile just a few weeks back, and there have been a few winners from the yard since then. I think Global Reef is going to take some beating here, to be honest. Number 1, Japanese Maple, and Global Reef met on the 7th of May, 51 days ago, and Global Reef finished a length and a half in front of number 1, Japanese Maple, and he's showing natural progression. That was his 3rd run after a rest. We know the Stinger way is slow and steady and build them up and get their confidence and get them to mature, and that's exactly what she's done with Global Reef. And I think that he's probably the one that's going to have a target on his back here. I've gone 1 and 7 in the place accumulator because number 1, Japanese Maple's banging on the door. To me, it looks like a little bit of a reversal to put blinkers on after running nicely without blinkers. Probably would have been the feedback from the jockeys saying, if he had blinkers, he probably finishes off his race a little bit better. Last time he was outrun by Teo Toriata, and that was obviously a long-time maiden, was Teo Toriata in his own right. So I think that just points a lot more into the direction number 7, Global Reef. And also bear in mind that he receives 3 kilograms. This, of course, is a Maiden handicap, so you've got to probably think a little bit harder about how you're going to play the race. And those with a light weight, despite having ordinary form, probably come into the picture as well, with number 9, Plum Blossom, potentially being a pick 6 inclusion, despite a bad draw. So, it's a trappy race. Roll of the Dice doesn't have his legs tied up. 3, Incredible Andrani, also ran in a Blue Moon run where Global Reef has his measure. But top choice number 7, Global Reef, PA backup number 1, Japanese Maple. I see Mun's Knight is in here. I forgot about him. 313 days off the course, the half-brother to Malmoose, and still an entire. I'd anticipate that he'd need the run number 8, Mun's Nut. So that's how I read a trappy open to the pick 6.
Yeah, I see a few of these young kids stepping out of the academy. A few names that were unfamiliar with me the other day. Al Manzouri, familiar with this apprentice?
He's from Qatar. He rode a winner in PE a few weeks ago for Gavin Smith on a horse, I think, called Forest Spy. That's about all I know. So he's had a winner. He's here for a few months. I think he's leaving at the end of either July or August. And I believe they're afraid to travel around the country at his own expense, from what I hear.
Okay, that's something to know about Mr. Al Manzouri from Qatar. Thanks to Alistair for that. And you heard it from Alistair. The value in this race could certainly be with the 4 to 1 shot, number 7, Global Reef. Race number 4 is Jackpot 1, 1,800 meters of fillies and mares, 64 handicap. It's an E division class. We'll go to the field and give you some guide with the fixed odds betting market at the time of recording. Number 1 at 11 to 2, 3 at 6 to 1, 4 at 8 to 1, number 6 at 9 to 2, number 9 at 7 to 1, 11 at 8 to 1, and it's double figures the balance. The form update I have here is for number 8. That finished somewhere back behind Rani of Couture, 12th, beaten 13 lengths. Of course, that was run on the 22nd of June. Yeah, an absolute minefield here, Alistair. You're going to have to, just nail your colors to the mast when it comes to your selections and hope they arrive, because if you try and get through with the minimum spend here, I think you've done well. I don't know about the jackpot and the pick 6, but I even think that the place accumulator looks to be a tough one. 3-4 runners maybe, Alistair. How many horses do you suggest here?
I've gone 3 in the place accumulator, D's, and I'm quite comfortable with my numbers. They are numbers 3, 4, and 6. I like number 3, Gilda Gray. She's my top selection. Blinkomolo takes about 4 Fani Bronkhorst, 57 starts for 4 wins in heaps of places. I think that pretty much sums up Gilda Gray's chances, is that somehow she's always there and thereabouts. In her last 3 runs, twice she's run against boys, and she's run very nicely. I think that she's probably most adept over this course and distance, that she probably capable of running her best races. Penultimate start, she ran second to Angel's Wish. Angel's Wish ran a disappointing race on Saturday. Was it Saturday? But it was against a lot stronger than what Angel's Wish beat and what Gilda Gray faces here. So I think that number 3, Gilda Gray, is alive with a very, very strong chance. When you look at how the race is likely to set up, though, number 4, Pascal Samaray, comes into the picture. She's moody, and on a going day, she can be very dangerous. She's got one-dimensional as it comes, in that you got to let her rip off to the front, but 5 of her 6 career wins have come on the inside track, and if she steals a march, and if Calvin Habib can measure her properly, I don't think that's too easy. I think it's easier said than done, but she can be a very difficult horse to peg back, especially on a track that's going to be running lightning fast for the next few months. She's been lovely to follow as Pascal Samaray. She's not been the easiest horse to punt, just because she can put the brakes onto the 400 and refuse to go any further. But like I said, on a going day, if she's in the mood, she can be very, very dangerous. The best gauge that you have of Pascal Samaray is her behavior, because actually the naughtier she is, the better she runs. So if she goes down to the start early and has a bit of a draw, then that's probably a sign that she's in the mood to run a good race. And then number 6, Demover, was off for a year and a half, needed a couple of runs. For me, she's kind of plateaued, but she's still running nicely despite being on that plateau. So she's not one to ignore. Tongue Tie goes on for the first time. That could be the key to getting the best out of this daughter of Flower Alley. So I'm not going to leave her out, number 6, Demover, because I've been on her side for the last 2 starts, and she might just be able to bring her best. And if she brings her best, it won't be much of a contest.
Okay, Alistair's giving us his 3 numbers there, numbers 3, 4, and 6 for the place accumulator. He's happy with those numbers, and if it's the double up, well, it's an absolute bonus with those 3 horses. Pick 6, Jackpot, you be the judge there in race number 4. Race number 5, a merit-rated 66 handicap over 1,600 meters, and I like the look of this race. Number 1, Sparkling Jubilee. Well, Mike de Kock, he seems to have this filly on a string these days, the way she's racing. She does carry 62 kgs, but she's got a nice draw of 2. So while she may be above the benchmark here in the D Division class, I think that against the quality of field that she meets, she has a serious chance of winning again. Then we go on to number 3, Circus Lights at 9-2. Number 5, 5th of July, is at 33-10. Number 7 is Gorilla Warfare at 5-1, the recent maiden winner. How much to come from this juvenile? Maybe Alistair Cohen can tell us a bit more, because St. John Gray's runner stepped up in distance with the blinkers on, and you had to be impressed the way he won as a young horse. And then we got a form update, Alistair, for number 9, Dark Tide. Ran 5th, finished 7 lengths behind Chocolate Soldier. That was on the 22nd of June. And then horse number 10, Full Go, is trading at 6-1. What you make of the race? You know, I've given you some thoughts of mine with the filly number 1 and the 2-year-old number 7. But the race, I don't think it stops there.
They are 2 horses here, D's, numbers 1 and 7. I think we're on the same page here. You might want to have a look at number 5, 5th of July. I'm sidestepping number 3, Circus Lights. Sparkling Jubilee's got 1 kilo to work with for a half a length and an extra 150 meters. I know Sparkling Jubilee will be far better than the 150 meters extra. 3rd run after a rest, so I think Sparkling Jubilee will finish in front of Circus Lights. I think she'll turn that form around. And, you know, she was an anniversary present from Michael Tadayan, and look what she's gone and done. She's actually proven to be above average despite being sparingly raced. She's out of Hollywoodbets Durbanville, runner-up just over a decade ago, Zirconium, who was ridden by Anthony Delpeche. I think she carried saddle cloth 20 off a very light weight. Sparkling Jubilee, very consistent. If not winning, she'll go close. But there's a whisper out about the capabilities of number 7, Guerrilla Warfare. Coming back from a break, and wearing blinkers focus for the first time and going over a mile. Was a lot to like about his win last time. Moosey's back on board, back over the same distance, should be more fit. The mother Cold Cash stayed all day. So no surprise to see Guerrilla Warfare suddenly grow an extra leg over the extra distance. He brings form with Ulman C. Very precocious 2-year-old filly, obviously. Ran third to Address the Nation. Second was the nursery winner, Fire Attack. And then probably just completely outgunned and didn't have the legs or the speed to match Pistol Pete at his third start. But he's a better, more mature horse over the right distance. He's going to be my top choice, number 7, Guerrilla Warfare. And also, St. John Gray's yards come to form. I hate to say it always does when the grass goes brown, and Joburg St. John really locks in and generally has a good run during the winter up in Joburg. And this season looks to be no different. I'm very interested and very keen to see how he goes, number 7, Guerrilla Warfare.
And nice to see that, we're at the stage of the season where the 2-year-olds' ratings are published now, Alistair.
That is a big thing, and these, we've been talking about it for a while, all over the country. Has a 2-year-old beaten an older horse in open company? That's taking away maiden plates, obviously in handicaps. And all of a sudden, in the last week or so, those damn walls have opened up a little bit. Chotton Soldier at Turffontein on Saturday, Katiwe's Destiny at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. There are a few now that are starting to step out. It's game time. The 2-year-olds that are good or that are above average will be beating those horses that are in that place.
Yeah, and everybody is going to have an opinion on how they judge their ratings against the fields that they've beaten. So you're going to have to make up your mind on number 7, Guerrilla Warfare. Because the weight for age allowance this time of the year over 1,600 meters, I will tell you, is 10.5 kgs. Okay, let's go on to race number 6. Number 1, Captain of Grit. Well, he is a solid horse. You're always going to get a proper shift from him. 5-2. Number 2 at 17-10. And then we go on to number 8, Safe Space at 2-1. How tight is this? 17-10, number 2. Number 1 at 5-2. And horse number 8 at 2-1. They're making it a 3-horse race. That's the fixed odds betting market. And I must admit, it does look to be that way, unless you really like something of the 3. But it'll be foolish not to put in all 3 runners in the pick 6, Alistair.
I really like a horse here. I like a bit of 2 Miles West. Get this, 2 Miles West finished 4 lengths in front of Command Pilot. Command Pilot won on Saturday, beating a field many divisions stronger than this. He's always been a horse on my radars, 2 Miles West. Craig Zaki gets the right for Paul Matchett. Matchett's going along well. And I remember seeing him early days. He's always looked like he's had a bit of size, a bit of substance, and something about him. Third run after a rest last time, he's gone through their winter series in Joburg. Not disgraced in the first run to Sabre Strike. I thought the last run to Mastership was very good. And with the way that form has been franked with the horse who finished behind him, what was that? It was MR 96 or 94 or something on Saturday that Command Pilot came out and won. I don't want to know about it. I think number 2 Miles West is a very difficult horse to beat, and I think he's overpriced. I mean, although he's no 7-8 to 1 shot, I still think that he represents a lot of value in this race. I mean, Captain of Grit's got the 4-kilo claimer who's riding very well. Niven Nastili, as you said, you're going to get a shift from him. Houston continues to work very well, but not the most genuine on the racetrack. Tongue goes on. Safe Space, I think, is consistent enough to be a danger. I was at Turffontein when Blackberry Breeze last ran, and he actually looked really well in the parade ring, but clearly needed that run, so I'd expect better from him. But I think number 2 Miles West, and the fact that he's a 3-year-old, relatively unexposed, he's probably going to get to that level where he's going to be exposed soon, and we'll know everything we need to know about him. But I'm very keen on his chances here. He's going to be the one horse that I'm probably going to have a good bet on the card.
Well, you heard it from Alistair. We've got our PA and Barpot banker. That I'm convinced, number 2 Miles West, listening to Alistair Cohen. And if you want to go one step further, could even be one for the jackpot, the last pick 3, and of course the big one, the pick 6. You have to take a chance, because what that basically means, instead of multiplying that per amount by 3, it's ×1, and it saves you a lot of cost, brings down the cost of that perm, especially if you can find a banker where it looks like the majority of players are going to be putting the 3 runners to be safe. You go the 1, and on to race number 7, 1450 meters, fillies and mares 64 handicap. How are they betting here? It's the penultimate race on the card. Number 2, Cerulean Dancer, that's at 3-1. Then we go on to number 3, Gimme the Flame at 5-1. Number 4, Sudden Style is at 15-10 with the claim 4. Number 6 is one of my selections, but I'm going to try and find the betting for that because I like the look of this daughter of Gimme the Green Light as a possible outsider in the race. And Alistair knows why, because the last time the horse was scratched as we are doing the show. Number 7, Count Your Chances, is a 7-1 shot. Well, have you had a look at the scratchings now, Alistair? Not scratched this time, I hope. Green bubbles.
Let me just double check, because this time, a couple of weeks ago, when we got to green bubbles, you set out your stall. No, she's not scratched. So as it stands, she's running, and I've put her in only because I'm going to avoid an argument with you. Sure. Number 6, green bubbles. And to be fair, you were the only one that came forward and said, you know, if green bubbles was running here, she'd be a chance. So here we are, just a couple of weeks later. She hasn't got the best of draws, but I wouldn't worry too much about that, because her running style suggests that she'll drop in anyway, and off a likely good pace with Gimme the Flame involved, that she's got something to aim at and something to work with. She's average as number 6, green bubbles, but then so is the rest of the field. There's no doubt about that. So I've gone 3 horses in the place accumulator, 2 Cerulean Dancer and 4 Southern Style as backup. Cerulean Dancer is just a real salt of the earth filly, trained by Fani Bronco. She's been on the boil for a long time. She runs her races time in, time out. Just over 1,600, maybe a little, maybe either side of 1,400. She's just been absolutely stinking over this trip. But all the same, Cerulean Dancer is bound to be stumped. I think she has Gavin Lorena stumped. Trent Mayhew takes the ride. He now claims 2.5 for what it's worth. Just take note. This is a trait that she had when she was a long-time maiden. She's got exactly the same trait now that she won a race 10 starts ago. She moves up with a lot in hand. The moment you show her daylight, she doesn't really finish off the job. She needs everything to go her way. Just 2, 4, and 6 for me in the place accumulator, but punters would probably be wise just to include 1 or 2 more that strike their eye here in the pick 6.
2, 4, and 6 for Alistair, race number 7. Let's close things off in the 8th race before we go to Alistair Cohen's suggested bet. This is over 1,200 meters, merit-rated 66 handicap as a guide. By the way, Green Bubbles is trading at 10-1 in race number 7. Number 1 at 7-2, number 2 at 11-2, 4 at 15-2, number 7 at 8-1, 8 twice as wild at 9-2, and then we got Della Sword, that I'm going to make my top choice. Maybe I can get a nice comment from Alistair about my thinking here. 7-2, 53.5. No degree of confidence, I must add, with the 5-year-old mare, but she's going to be my top choice here. Number 10, Della Sword, but I can't give you any confidence, Alistair. I mean, she's been a one-time maiden for a long, long time.
I've left her out the place accumulator. These are respected chances, the pick 6, that she's going to get her out one of these days. But 834 days without a win, when she's had as much looking like in her favour as what it looks like on this Thursday card, she wouldn't be my top choice, I hate to say it. Kiratila Kacheri sticks with this daughter of William Longsword, who's actually related to a stakes winner in the form of Leica Panther. I've gone 1, 2, and 8. I'm talking about Candace's runner, number 1, Nazare. Raymond Danielson takes the ride. Went to the Hollywoodbets Greyville Poly last time. He's now been to the Poly 3 times, and he's run exactly the same race 3 times. He's probably just better on the turf. His penultimate win was full of merit, beating Empress Game over this course and distance. His game looks to be the Turffontein inside track. Can't put anyone off. His work is good. Raymond Danielson's happy with him. Candace is happy with him. He'll go well. Number 2, After Hours, very, very dangerous. He comes particularly well this time of year. He's got stride striker on his back for, as we mentioned, St. John Gray, who's also come well this time of year. He's well performed. His rating's probably been well looked after by St. John. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it because After Hours is obviously this type of quality horse, but we know how many 7-time winners there are in South Africa that are rated a lot higher than 68. He's probably one of the lowest 7-time winners in the country. And then number 8, Twice as Wild, can't be ignored either. Just got outrun last time over this course and distance. Boom Boom beat Twice as Wild, who now runs against boys. But the second horse, Lady Elliot, went off at a very short price, and I still want to be on her side the next time she runs. So I've got a bit of time for number 8, Twice as Wild, to go close enough in this race. So I've got the 3 in the place accumulator. The alternative in the pick 6 would be number 10, Della Sword. I'd be comfortable with the 4 horses on the pick 6.
Okay, you mentioned the place accumulator throughout the show. Let's go to your suggested bet for this Thursday.
Yep, let's go through it. Starts in race number 2 at 1:05. Banker number 9, 17 again in the first leg. By 1 and 7, Japanese Maple and Global Reef. Opened up a little bit in the third leg of the place accumulator. 3 Gilder Grey, 4 Pascal Samurai, and 6 Demover. Then gone 1 and 7, Sparkling Jubilee and Guerrilla Warfare. By Banker number 2, 2 Miles West. I like him a lot. Then gone numbers 2, 4, and 6, Cerulean Dancer and Southern Style and Green Bubbles in the penultimate leg. And then 1, 2, and 8 in the final leg, Nazare, After Hours, and Twice as Wild.
Well, thanks, Alistair. Thanks for your time, as always. And, looking forward to spending some time with you when you arrive in KZN to the build-up to what is just around the corner. What an exciting time of the year.
Shot D's, looking forward to it. Always a pleasure working with you and the rest of the team in the Gallop studio. And this time next week there'll be a lot of stories around town. Looking forward to it. Nothing like it.
Yeah, thanks to Alistair Cohn on behalf of the team at Gallop TV. Myself, D's, dying unto you, the valued racing fan. Have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a successful day for you if you are playing at Turffontein on this Thursday. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gavashle.